Hello, my name is Matt Bird, and welcome to the PublishU podcast, where we explore the real life stories of authors from around the world. Today, I'm talking to Dawn Walker from Halifax in the UK, who has written a book called The Temptation Trap. Dawn, welcome.
Thank you very much, Matt. Nice
The
to be with you.
temptation trap sounds intriguing. I mean, you work in the world of banking, don't you? I mean, is this about is this about finance and or but before we get into that, tell us about you. Tell us about what you do, who your partner is. Tell us about have you got any kids, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Matt. So I do live in Halifax. I'm not from here originally. I was born and bred in Swansea in South Wales.
And you're very
Um,
proud of that by the sounds of it.
I am very proud of that, but happy to be adopted in Halifax. I've lived here now for more than 20 years. So I'm here with my husband, who is a musician. We've got four adult children between us, and three of them still live at home. So home is very, very busy. But
Mm.
as you say, my history is in banking. I've worked in banking for more than 30 years, particularly in change management and transformation.
Wow. And what's fascinating is you're kind of you've been you've been on the move because you're going to get ordained as a pastor, is that right?
Yeah, I am. So, rather unexpectedly, my career path has taken a slightly different route in that I was asked last year if I would take over a church as the current pastors are retiring. That's not something that I'd ever anticipated, but I do
No, I
find
should say
myself,
not.
yeah, I find myself unexpectedly prepared for it. And so I would describe myself right now as an emerging church leader. It's a very exciting path to be on.
Did they ask you to sit down and have a strong drink when they asked you?
Oh, they just blurted it out, but you could have
Oh,
knocked me over with a feather, to be fair.
absolutely. Oh my goodness. So when did you first think about writing a book, Dawn?
Well, look, even though I'm sort of an emerging church leader, I have been on the preaching circuit, both locally and internationally, for 10 years. And I tend to write my sermons in long form.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah, so there's a number of subject areas that I tend to gravitate back to. And temptation was one of those. And I thought maybe I could shape up a sermon into a book and see what I would have to say.
Wow. Wow. So, um, how do you define temptation? I mean, yeah, I mean, is it breaking the law, being naughty? What do you mean by temptation?
Well, look, the Bible's got some clear definitions on it. And as somebody who's got Christian faith, I would look to the Bible for a description of what that is, but also some support of how to face into it. But generally, we would know temptation as something that just grabs a hold of our attention and encourages us to go and do something that perhaps otherwise we wouldn't want to do. And the Bible calls that being enticed and dragged away,
Mm,
so that we give into it. And then ultimately, we tend to regret either straight away or later down the line what
mm.
it is that we've done.
I like that word enticed. Do you think you get enticed to do something good as well as something not so good?
Yeah, of course. And I think that's always better to be enticed, but we wouldn't normally call that temptation. Normally, we would associate that with something that actually can lead to negative consequences and not things that we would think about negatively at the time. And that's why we call it a trap,
Mm.
because you tend to fall into it and then realize afterwards what's happened
Re-
to you.
Regret it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like that. So, yeah, a temptation trap. So give us a nugget from your book, Dawn. I mean, how do we avoid falling into a pit,
Yeah.
of regret? If we obviously going to buy the book, it's now out there, we're going to go and get it. But just to give us a little taster to get us there, what nugget would you give us about not falling down into the pit?
Yeah, well, because I'm going to look to the Bible for some help with it, automatically you're going to be drawn to the story about how Jesus himself was tempted right at the start of his public ministry. And three times Jesus says, "It is written," in order to resist that temptation. So I
Okay.
was really intrigued to see, well, where is that written? And why
Yeah.
was it written? And does
Yeah.
any of that reveal to us some tactics to avoid being tempted in the same way and to avoid falling into that trap? So, really, the book is about exposing what those traps are that
Mm.
Jesus faced, the original setting for those things being written, and how that draws parallels for us today.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. So, yeah, fascinating. Thank you. And, it struck me, Dawn, yeah, when you're at a party, what's the biggest conversation maker? The fact you're a banker or you're going to be a church leader? What creates the most conversation? Do people want to talk about banking or do they want to talk about church or neither?
They want to talk about church,
Do
interestingly,
they?
and even people in work want to talk about church because I think people are intrigued by it, and especially if you're open with your faith, as I am, and willing to share why I believe what I believe. Then people tend to ask questions about that and what it means to us. But inevitably, if my husband's there, we start talking music, and that overrules everything.
You're a bit of a muso as well.
No, not at all. I can't play an instrument and I can't sing, even though I'm from Wales and should have an incredible
Even
Welsh voice.
though you're from,
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. So his stories are way better than mine.
and whether it's in banking or in other circles, I mean, do people often want to talk to you about mistakes and temptation and being enticed? Is that something you find people want to talk about?
I don't think people tend to use that language and wouldn't
No.
talk about temptation. But what people will tend to talk about are the things that maybe are in their past, the things that have shaped how they think, the decisions maybe that they've made that have taken them down a different route, maybe some regrets,
Mm,
maybe how to turn things forward. And I think what's really interesting is that the Bible doesn't seek to condemn you for having fallen in a trap, but seeks to give you hope, seeks to
yeah.
give you a way out of that and to
Drops a
restore
ladder
you
into
back
the
to it.
hole to find a way out. Yeah, yeah, I like that.
Absolutely. And that's what the book is about, really. It's to inspire and to motivate anybody that has found themselves in that position to get out of it and to move forward. Otherwise, just telling you where you've gone wrong is no good. You want something that's going to help you move
Yeah,
forward and do something differently in the future.
yeah. When we've made a mistake, we know it. We don't need somebody else to tell us. We
Oh,
just need
exactly.
we just need a hand. Hey, let me help you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think when you look at the stories of where people have been and how they've coped with it and how they've moved forward, that can inspire us. I mean, our stories are really powerful to inspire people to move forward.
Mhm. So you did the Writing My Book course. I mean, how did that help you, um, write a book? I mean, let's let the cat out of the bag here. You're not writing one book. In the next 6 months, you're doing a number of books. Let's leave it at that. So, but how did the Writing My Book course change your mindset and self-belief about writing?
Yeah, I think a lot of people that have written the book, having been public speakers, find it difficult because it's a completely different skill set to write something down. And so I think the course really helped me understand how to shape thoughts differently, how to write with a tone of voice and a content that doesn't rely on the spoken word and how you come across as you speak. So I think it really bridges that gap for me. But also, I found the editing support very, very helpful to really narrow down on the precision of what is it I want to say? Am I saying it? Am I saying it in a way in which I intend, which is to inspire that people would move forward from? So I think all of that support is incredible. And then I think being on the journey with other people who, help you to think things through and to encourage you and to hold you to account to make sure that you are meeting the timelines that you said you would.
Yeah, there we go. And now your book is published, not just published, but anybody anywhere in the world can buy it.
Yeah.
Uh, Gosh, how does that make you feel?
It's incredible. It's incredible because I think it's some things that you can dream about, and then when it actually happens, you think, actually, I've done that and I've accomplished it, and it is out there. And, I believe that it'll be helpful to people. And I'm really looking forward to hearing what people make of it and what
Yeah,
they've done differently as a result of it.
Yeah, amazing. And so, yeah, I mean, you've kind of gone there a little bit, but what do you hope is the impact of your book?
Yeah, I think I'm hoping really that people, especially people who are on the threshold of something new, can just take a stand back and look at what's happening in the circumstances of their life and really address those situations so that they avoid stalling their progress, or they avoid doing something that just causes them to trip up. And actually, they just move forward with confidence. Because I think if you are aware of some of the traps that are set, then you can skirt around them, right? And you can move
Yeah.
forward with some confidence and some pace. So really, it's about just enabling people to get the best out of their future.
Wow, my goodness, I want to get this book. Well, the truth is, I'm going to have it sat on my bookshelf very, very soon. As you know, I have a little bookshelf in my holiday home, and every book we publish has a place on that shelf.
Yeah,
And when I next go out there, I will take your book with me, and it will sit proudly on the shelf next to all the others.
I look forward to
So,
it.
so thank you, Dawn, and thank you all for listening to the PublishU podcast, featuring the real life stories of authors from around the world, even Halifax and Swansea. Was that right?
Swansea.
Swansea?
Yeah.
Swansea. There we go. And if you're interested in becoming an author like Dawn, drop us a note. Visit our website, www.publish, the letter U, publishu.com. We'd love to chat with you. And if you enjoyed this broadcast, please do subscribe for more. Thank you so much for joining us, Dawn, and all of our listeners. And goodbye for now.